Lukasevich is excused. Alderman Verhaelen.
Here.
Tillman.
Here.
Gale. Guzekowski.
Whatever. What did you pass?
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is the approval of minutes of September 6, 2016.
Gail will move. Go ahead. Sorry. Go for it.
Verhaelen will move to approve the minutes of 9/6/16.
Gail will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Moving to public hearings, item 4A is a conditional use request by the Waters Senior Living for a conditional use permit allowing for the development of senior elderly housing on the property at 8,000 South Market Street in the 2nd District. City Clerk will now read the public hearing notice.
Public hearing number 1 is to consider a request by the Waters Senior Living for a conditional use permit allowing for the development of senior elderly housing on the property at 8,000 South Market Street. Applicant is the Waters Senior Living. Property owner, City of Oak Creek. There follows the legal description. Date of notice is August 18th, 2016.
Doug?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Doug Seymour. I'm the Director of Community Development for the City of Oak Creek. And this is a public hearing on a request by the Waters Senior Living Group for a conditional use permit, which would allow for the development of senior and elderly housing on the property at 8,000 South Market Street, the property just east of the Oak Creek Civic Center. This property, which is currently owned under the city, is under contract to be sold to the Waters Senior Living Group. It's part of the mixed-use development at Drexel Town Square. Now, the Waters Senior Living Group operates several senior housing developments, mostly in the Minneapolis area. And we do have some representatives from the Waters here that will be available to answer any questions that you have should they arise during the public hearing. Now, under the provisions of the regulating document for the Drexel Town Square Mixed-Use Plan Development District, housing for the elderly requires a conditional use permit in this mixed-use subdistrict. Ironically, even though that multifamily is a permitted use, there is a little bit of a, not a contradiction, but there was originally we had thought that housing for the elderly was included as part, but it does not. It requires a conditional use permit. So the proposal is for approximately 140, and we just got the plans, and it's actually 149 units of senior housing, which includes memory care as part of this four-story building at the site. The proposed use is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan and is complementary to the mix of the different types of uses: retail, hospitality, medical, civic, pure retail, restaurants that we do have available at Drexel Town Square. The Plan Commission, upon reviewing this, concurred, and they have recommended their approval of this conditional use permit, subject to a series of conditions and restrictions, which are also included as part of your packet. This is a public hearing. I would ask that anyone who has any questions or comments regarding the proposed conditional use permit for senior living for the property at 8,000 South Market Street to please fill out an appearance form, hand that into the city clerk, and when your name is called, please approach the podium and proceed to address your comments or questions to the Common Council. This public hearing is now open.
I'll make 3 calls for public comment on item 4A. First call. Mr. Degner.
Arden Degner, 8540 South Pennsylvania Avenue. This is an interesting situation, as I mentioned it before. But according to this picture that I've got, it is in a U shape with a center court. Now, couldn't this item be redesigned so it would only be 2 or 3 stories high, so we could still see the clock tower of our civic center from the other side of Myers? Otherwise, our civic center is going to be lost in this complete surround, because we know that there's no traffic on the west side of the civic center. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a poor design, and it should be modified so that it does not completely box in our civic center that we've paid so much for.
Thanks for your comments. I would argue that the lines of sight for all the development around Civic Center have taken into account the height of the buildings. And yes, there'll be some areas that it'll be a little tougher to see, but I think the identity of the Civic Center and the clock tower
And
will remain.
just to follow up on that, the building which has been submitted is actually, although it is 4 stories, you can see how the 4-story is kind of stepped back so that they do kind of honor its location and its context within this mixed-use development. And certainly, the clock tower is an iconic element of Drexel Town Square and was put in place to provide that kind of focal point. And knowing full well that the buildings around that, whether it's the hotel, the hospital, the medical center, and the apartments, were going to be of a little bit, somewhat taller height, 3-4 story buildings. So it was designed with that in mind. And while I concur that with Mr. Degner that if you're looking on the other side of Meyer, you might struggle to see the clock tower. I would suggest that there's going to be difficult to do that anyway, given the distance and the size of the Meyer store. But for the majority of the development, meaning the Civic Center and the clock tower, was really designed with some of the sight lines from Main Street and from Town Square Way to be that visible element. And I'm actually appreciate the fact that Mr. Degner's is taking into account some of the design elements of the Civic Center, and I'm glad he's doing that. But I think that he'll be happy with this outcome because I think it's going to be a very attractive building, and will only add to the design of this mixed-use development.
Second call. Third and final call for public comment on item 4A. Seeing no one coming forward, we'll close the public hearing and move to item 5, which is a consideration of ordinance number 2822. It would approve a conditional use permit for the property at 8,000 South Market Street, allowing for the development of senior housing in the 2nd District. Doug.
If I may, I just wanted to acknowledge the presence of a few individuals this evening. We have Mike Zerbis and Brian Shack, both of which who are affiliated with the project. They are available to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay. Open up to the council for questions or comments. None? Alderman Gale?
Make a statement, gentlemen.
Name and address for the record on the mic.
Hi, I'm Brian Shack. I'm a developer with the Water Senior Living. My address is in Minnesota, but I can still state that if it's 412 Clover Lane, Golden Valley, Minnesota. I second your comments. We're very excited. We are the neighbors to the west, being in Minnesota. You might be wondering why Milwaukee. Milwaukee is very similar with its demographics to how we operate in Minneapolis. Senior housing, the statistics are very strong in Milwaukee. The average occupancy is around 93%. And a lot of your product from our research is old and outdated. And I think your city really needs a project like this. And we're very excited to bring our product, a high-end, very high-class, vibrant product to the Oak Creek. So thank you, and we're very excited to be your neighbors.
And I share that excitement that Alderman Gale expressed, and I think it's really cool to add a demographic piece that we didn't have previously. So not just one group of people that be able to experience what Drexel Town Square is and will be. It's everybody. So to have every age group and every kind of person in that in this development is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing that go forward. Any other questions or comments? Motion on 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kirkowski will make a motion to approve ordinance number 2822, approving a conditional use permit for the property at 8,000 South Market Street, allowing for the development.
Hold on one second, Doug.
Before we do that, I do apologize. There's one thing I wanted to bring to the attention of the commission. Part of the uniqueness of the Waters design program is that they do have a lot of things which are not typical for senior housing. I mean, they do have, and Brian could probably talk about a little bit more, they've got a pub, they've got a restaurant, they've got a couple of different services that are available to their restaurant, to their residents, but they do have specifically the pub and restaurant, which will be available to the general public and will be open and actually fronting this on the square on the corner facing the square. So in acknowledging that, we wanted to just make sure we wanted to add something under the accessory permitted uses so that restaurants and cafes are a permitted accessory use in this district, that it was not reflected in the current conditions and restrictions, but under a separate email I sent to the council, I believe yesterday or day before, I'm requesting the ability to add that in this evening.
Are there any questions on that before I let Alderman Kirkowski finish the motion? Alderman Kirkowski.
There's, Doug, there's no issues with that, with the other tenants that are within Drexel Town Square, like we've had perhaps with any others?
Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Kirkowski, make a motion to approve ordinance number 2822, approving a conditional use permit for the property at 8,000 South Market Street, allowing for the development of senior housing in the second district.
Kuzikowski will second.
Roll call.
We need to add, right?
yep.
Oh.
Recalling under section 10 permitted uses, 10C, that usual and customary accessory uses, including cafes and restaurants, to the above are listed permitted use.
I'll amend my motion to include what Doug said, but that's permissible.
Got a second from Tolman. All in favor. I'm used to ICC. Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Good luck, gentlemen. All right, moving on to item 6, a conditional use amendment public hearing request by Aaron Fisher Laser Tag Pro to amend the conditional use permit for an indoor commercial recreation facility on properties located at 9,000 and 9,100 South Nicholson Road in the 3rd District. City Clerk will read the public hearing notice.
Public hearing number 2 is to consider a request submitted by Aaron Fisher Laser Tag Pro to amend the conditional use permit for an indoor commercial recreation facility on the properties located at 9,000 and 9,100 South Nicholson Road. Applicant is Aaron Fisher, property owner, National Association, Associated Bank. There follows the legal description. Date of notice is August 25th, 2016.
Doug.
Thank you. The proposed business, actually, it's two different businesses, would be a laser tag equipment developer and manufacturer, and also with an indoor laser tag arena and family entertainment center. The indoor arena and family entertainment center do require an amendment to the conditions and restrictions to allow for this commercial recreation facility. You recall, this is the site that was previously under conditional use permit for Green Man for landscape services. The second component, the manufacturing component, would be a permitted use. This involves inventing devices, designing software, testing and assembly of laser tag product, and warehousing of the product. Currently, that involves a staff of 6 full-time with plans for additional staff as the business grows. So that the business itself would be located within the southernmost building at 9100 South Nicholson Road and will serve as the headquarters. The applicant does not have any plans to modify the building at this time. The second component of the business, which is really what we're talking about this evening, is the Family Entertainment Center. And the focus of this is to provide indoor laser tag for private parties along with an arcade. We'll also located within the middle and southern buildings of the properties. The middle building would be used as an indoor laser tag arena, and half of the southernmost building would be used for private parties and an arcade. The conditions and restrictions do call for hours of operation. With respect to deliveries, it'd be minimal. The actual entertainment component of this business is conducted by session or reservation, so customer traffic is anticipated to be in regular intervals. So typically, and I'm not sure if the applicant's here today, this isn't a place you would just show up and want to do laser tag, you'd reserve spots in there. The Planning Commission has reviewed this particular request, and they have recommended their approval subject to conditions and restrictions, which are included as part of your council report. With that, I would state that this being a public hearing, anyone who has any questions or comments regarding the proposed conditional use permit for indoor recreation for the properties at 9,000 and 9,100 South Nicholson Road, please fill out an appearance form, hand it into the city clerk, and when your name is called, proceed to the podium and address your questions or comments to the common council. The public hearing is now open.
I'll make 3 calls for public comment on item 6. First call. second call. Third and final call for public comment on item 6. Seeing no one coming forward, we'll close the public hearing and move to item 7, which is discussion of the ordinance number 2824, consideration of the ordinance rather, approving an amendment to the conditional use permit for the properties located at 9,000 and 9100 South Nicholson Road for the operation of a private indoor recreational facility in the 3rd District, and open up to the council for any questions or comments.
I've got a couple.
Alderman Verhaelen?
Doug, I guess this goes to you. I see that the outside storage part of the original conditional use was taken off there. One thing, it's mentioned briefly in the landscaping section, and I just wonder if you could maybe strike that off there where it mentions screening of the boat and RV vehicle storage area.
Oh, yep, definitely.
All right, that's one thing. And then the other question I had was in regards to the sewer hookup. And I had actually 2 questions concerning that, being that they're going to use the property at 9,000 South Nicholson for the party and entertainment area. That particular building, and there's only one building there that has restroom facilities in it. And I do believe that they're relatively small. They're hooked up to a holding tank. And I was wondering if we could bump a requirement that at least that building be hooked to city sewer ASAP. I'd be willing to maybe 1 or 2 years, but if we get large amounts of people in that facility, if the restroom's only real small where they can't accommodate their customers, and a holding tank is not really conducive to having large amounts of people, using it for smaller type things where you have a limited amount of people using it. I was just wondering if that could be something that we could put into the language, maybe a couple of years' time that they'd have to at least hook the one building up to city services.
Question, Doug. Is that something that we can require, given it's not a new building and it's a existing building?
I mean, certainly the council can impose reasonable conditions and restrictions. I guess I would defer to the water and sewer utility with respect to whether or not the use and there's capacity within that building to accommodate that use. And I understand that obviously the long-term solution is to hook up to sanitary sewer. And Mark, I just don't know enough about that to know if that's if it's got the necessary capacity.
Water utility would not mandate it. They'd have to be requested to do
City engineers indicated that they could look at it from the plumbing perspective to see if there's adequate capacity there. But I totally agree that
I would like an opinion from the inspection department as well, being that
Right.
if it's going to be a facility that's going to cater to, say, groups of 40 or 50 or 60 people at a time, and there's only a one stall bathroom in the building. I mean, that's not really conducive to that type of a venue unless that particular thing is upgraded at least. The inside facilities be upgraded and then possibly hooking up to the city sewer.
I think we could at least direct staff to work with the applicants to, one, investigate that, and two, if warranted and if possible, that they connect to the city sewer. Alderman Gale?
Just looking to see out of planning if any of the residents there appeared and had any comment on this item. It looks like it changed some. There's no outdoor activity, I think. It's a change from the last time.
That's what everyone was concerned about. Right.
Steve, was anybody at the last meeting at planning? Okay.
There's no objection to the proposal as stated here. The questions came on the possible use of an outdoor area without, further vetting and figuring out how that would work with the dynamics of a residential area, sort of. Anything else?
Question to Doug. From a tax standpoint, is this going to increase the value of the land, or is it just generally is what it is?
certainly an occupied building is more valuable and it stabilizes the property value there. And the specifics, whether or not that's going to increase the value of that property, I don't know that.
Okay.
What if it becomes the most popular laser tag facility in southeastern Wisconsin? Anything in there?
I mean, Mark could sell a house, right?
Yeah.
I think Finance Director Bridget mentioned, had a good point, being that it is a manufacturing facility, there would be some additional personal property attached to that.
That's true.
All right. Other questions? Do you have an objection as a resident?
I don't have an objection.
Good.
I've talked with staff. I live directly across the street, and I just have a question on the hours, and should it become the most popular laser tag in the city,
No, in the southeastern Wisconsin.
in southeastern Wisconsin, or the
We think bigger.
Midwest, then at some point, there might be some concern.
Laser light shows at night to the west.
Might be some issues there.
What were the hours of operation?
It's till 11 p.m. on Saturday.
On Saturday, I was looking at that too, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see it 10 o'clock across the board myself, but
Is that the only night it's 11?
Yeah, we had that discussion.
Yeah, we did have that discussion. I think you have to at least respect their ability to market their business in a way that at least one night a week they can have parties a little bit later. I don't see that as an issue. Any other comments or questions?
I can just see us dividing up into teams for grand opening. And,
Yes. Yes.
all 8 of us.
Anybody else?
I want to defer a question to Doug. Do we have to have anything in the motion in regards to those restroom facilities or hooking up to the sewer?
Yes. If that's the will of the council, yes.
But keeping in mind, if you add those restrictions, you may not get the what you're looking for.
I'm not,
You have a comment from the applicant? You can come up if you want. Name and address for the record.
Aaron Fisher, 4260L South 76th Street, Greenfield. To address about the sewer, and this is just, we actually had a meeting before we had the last meeting with the Common Council with a guy from the city with the sewer. Was it Brian? Is that his name? The assistant engineer, and as Kerry. And he talked to us about the sewers. So there's 3 bathrooms in there. There's a 2-stall bathroom, like a men and women, and then the other office it's like a single bathroom. So there's,
in the 9,000 building?
yeah,
or
the
9100
newer
building?
brick building. It's to the south. Is that what you're talking about?
The 9,000 building.
Was
That's the
that the south?
the northernmost.
Oh, you-
The northern building.
You're talking about the middle building where we're
Right,
going to put the arena?
right.
Those are in bad shape. They need work.
That's why I'm asking
Okay.
the question. That's why I'm asking the
Okay,
question.
okay.
That's the facility you guys are planning to use for your manufacturing and part of it for the.
No, that's the south building. That's the south building. The south building, the newer brick building, that's where we're going to do half of that as parties and half offices, which we will do most of our activity out of. The middle building will be the battlefield, play field. They told me this. So that we did meet with them, and he did. We talked about the sewer, and we were just like, well, he tell us what we need to do, but he didn't foresee it to be a problem. But I mean, when we met with them, look, I'm willing to do what we need to do, but he didn't address it to us as an issue when we were in the meeting with him. So I would imagine he would remember that.
Under item, yeah, quickly, but under 2D, it says the applicant shall be required to extend municipal sewer and water to serve this development. Pretty clear there. Go ahead.
My input was just, I think that we absolutely need to check with building inspection and the plumbing inspector regarding occupancy of the building and the use. And the building code would dictate what the restroom facilities requirements are.
Would that hold up this action or not hold up this action? Can we just direct staff to,
Well, you are approving a conditional use permit, a use, in prior to occupancy. I mean, there are any number of things that have to happen prior to occupancy of a building, I guess, including getting appropriate plumbing permits, electrical permits, what have you. So what I might suggest is that they get an affirmative response from the plumbing inspector that the facilities within the building with respect to plumbing are capable of handling the posted occupancy of the building.
Alderman Toman.
But if we approve it as it's read here, like the mayor just pointed out, it's already listed that they'd be required to extend sewer and water, correct?
And I did see that, and that is probably a holdover from the previous conditional use permit.
I think, Mike, I remember that we gave Green Man a window of 3 years to hook up the city sewer and water, but they never fulfilled that because they were gone before the 3
Well,
years.
the scenario that you painted, Mark, is something that would be to the best interest of the business if that business takes off. So I don't have a problem with mandating it, but give them a decent window to deal
Right,
with.
that's
Yeah.
why,
Yeah, you can't
that's why I
expect somebody to
asked.
come in there with an investment.
Correct.
And put in a ton of money
Correct.
right off the bat.
Would the council be happy with a 5-year period? If that's the case, and there's no other comments or questions, just make the motion and add that language to whatever specifics you're going to put in there.
that pertains to the sewer hookup itself, Steve, but I'd still like a review and have them follow recommendations of the plumbing inspector for any facility upgrades inside the building.
Understood. So I'm going to make a motion.
Oh, we'll give it a shot. Verhaelen makes a motion to approve ordinance number 2824, approving an amendment to the conditional use permit for the properties located at 9,000 and 9100 South Nicholson Road for the operation of a private indoor recreational facility, with the caveat that they be required to hook up to city sewer within 5 years, and also to have based on a review and recommendation by the plumbing inspector as to what type of facilities will be required inside the buildings to operate that business.
I'm good. Good.
Guzekowski will second.
I got a second from Tolman first. Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tillman.
All right.
Good luck, gentlemen. Let me know how it's going. That's my district. All right, moving on to new business. Item 8 is a consideration of resolution number 11745-092016, designating the Oak Creek Civic Center Plaza as Richard Bolander Plaza. It's in the 2nd District. If you don't know, Mayor Bolander was my predecessor, died in office tragically in December of 2011. He was instrumental in a lot of the things that you see happening in Drexel Town Square development. Great leader, great person. And I thought, after talking with a member or two of his family, that it would be appropriate to honor that legacy that and his service to the city in that way. There really isn't a fiscal impact other than putting a plaque up at the site, but it's really more of a memory or a commendation for work well done as mayor. And he served 9 years, so he had a long tenure, one of the longest in the city. So I thought this would certainly be an appropriate way to honor that memory, and I'll certainly listen to any comments or questions on the resolution. No objections? Motion on resolution number 8.
Gail move to approve resolution 11745-092016, designating the Oak Creek Civic Center Plaza as Richard Bolander Plaza.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 9 is a motion to approve the vendor summary report in the amount of $927,659.17. Finance Director is here to answer any questions. Seeing none, motion on 9.
Gail moves to approve the vendor summary report in the amount of $927,659.17.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Moving on to Streets, Parks, and Forestry. Item number 10 is a consideration of resolution number 11744-092016, authorizing the City Forestry Division of the Streets, Parks, and Forestry Department to submit an application for a 2017 Department of Natural Resources Urban Forestry Grant. City Forester Rebecca Lane is here to answer any questions. Or just tell us about it. Come on up. Welcome.
I never write a simple grant. It always has a number of components. So I have listed them, and if you haven't had a chance to read, we're going to continue our removal training. We have a new generation to get ready. And we also have residential training that we're going to continue. That will go whether we get this grant or not, actually. This time it will be pruning. I did a little survey of residents at National Night Out and got about 8 signatures stating they were interested in that. And I'll be rewriting our management plan, including an update to the Emerald Ash Borer management plan, which is luckily looking like it's in the rearview mirror now.
Good.
Getting
Because of
there.
your hard work.
Everybody's. And then I'm not even sure if some of you are aware, we built a gravel bed this year that houses bearroot trees, and over the summer it's drip irrigated, and it grows terrific roots for fall planting. So we did a test drive this year with about 50 trees, and we'll be planting those this fall. Looks great. Everything's going well, so we're going to expand.
Yeah, and you showed me that, and it's pretty neat, and it's innovative, and I like to see that kind of stuff and that kind of leadership in any department. So kudos to you for getting that going and to making that work.
And to Ted.
And to Ted. Usually he comes to the meetings. He's at the Cubs game. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Anyway, this is okay. This is merely permission to apply. So
Any questions for Rebecca?
Rebecca, we've gotten these
Alderman
in the
Gale.
past, right? We've received these in the past?
many.
What do we typically get on our application?
It could be any, half of anything that we ask for. We've had up to the maximum where we had a $50,000 grant for removals after that tornado. But usually they're in this range.
Other questions? Motion. Thank you.
Gail will move to approve Resolution 11744-092016, authorizing the City Forestry Division of the Street Parks and Forestry Department to submit an application for a 2017 Department of Natural Resources Urban Forestry Grant.
Kirkowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Moving on to the always anticipated engineering items. Item 11 is a consideration of a motion to enter into a contract with Short Elliott Hendrickson, Inc. for a design of the bridge rehabilitation project for a cost fee not to exceed $49,723. Project number 12016 in various districts. City Engineer Mike Simmons.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for the design of 6 bridges that are in need of maintenance that were identified in the required biennial bridge inspections. They include deck repair, railing replacement, wing wall repair, amongst other minor repairs associated with that. So basically we went out for a request for proposals. We received 6, and based on the evaluations of the projected performance, project team availability, and then of course the fees associated, the recommendation is to go with Short Elliott Hendrickson. This company has done some work for the city in recent years, most recently the pedestrian bridge that was recently constructed at Amshine Park. So we have a good relationship with them. We're pleased with their performance.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Alderman Verhaelen.
I was wondering, I see Grafe came in a little bit, quite a bit actually, lower, and I was wondering why we overlooked them in light of Short Elliott.
It was a combination of that. The cost fee factored in, but the proposal score rated lower than some of the others. I didn't personally review these, but Brian Johnston and Matt Sullivan did, and Matt would be the one that would be working very closely with the designers here. think that the thought was that there was something may have been missed or something in their just in their proposal that we thought this leaves it's lacking and therefore open to coming back for a change of scope or things along that line.
Well, the reason I asked is because Grafe is, as well as a well-known larger company in the area here, and I just wonder why they were overlooked on the basis of, their cost was $10,000 less. But having said that, the next time we do have something that comes before us like this, maybe a little notation as to why we chose the second bidder who was higher than somebody else, so we understand why the decision is being made to take a higher bid.
Flesh out that proposal score column might be useful, because they did come in quite a bit lower on the scoring. So what went into that would be.
Yeah, just a little background so we kind of know why we're going with a higher bidder.
Good suggestion. Any other questions?
Yes.
Motion on 11.
Kirkowski make a motion to enter into a contract with Short Elliott Hendrickson, Inc. for design of the bridge rehabilitation project for a cost fee not to exceed $49,723, project number 12016, various districts.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Item 12 is a consideration of resolution number 11742-092016, accepting dedication of the public improvements and release from the development agreement for the RAL O'Malley Ryan Road, A Wisconsin Corporation, and Pizza Slices, Inc., A Wisconsin Corporation, tax key number 878-9003-004, in the 6th District. Mike.
This is a development agreement that goes way back. It was signed in 1986, so it's 30 years old, and it revolves around the properties at the northeast corner of 22nd and Ryan, which have been in business for quite a long time. The public improvements include sanitary sewer, storm sewer, paving. They've been in place, long been in place and functioning for, I guess, a couple of decades. Basically, this is coming before you now. A recent title search uncovered that this development agreement had not been dissolved.
All right, clerical then. Any questions? Motion?
Yeah, we'll move to approve resolution 11742-092016, accepting the dedication of the public improvements and release from development agreement for RAL/O'Malley Ryan Road, a Wisconsin Corporation, and Pizza Slices, Inc., a Wisconsin Corporation, tax key number 878-003-004.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
And item 13, last item of engineering, is a consideration of resolution number 11743-092016, approving a stormwater management practices maintenance agreement with HSI Drexel Ridge LLC for their Drexel Ridge multifamily development located at 7721 South Pennsylvania Avenue. Tax key numbers as listed in the 1st District. Mike.
This is for the multifamily development in the vicinity of Drexel and Pennsylvania Avenue. And this is the typical stormwater management maintenance agreement that all developments enter into. The stormwater management is private storm sewer and a detention pond. And this just assures that they will perform the required maintenance and upkeep on the facilities, and that the city has the ability to hire this out and invoice the developer for the cost of that if it does not take place.
Questions? Motion.
Kirkowski make a motion to approve resolution number 11743-092016, approving a stormwater management practices maintenance agreement with HSI Drexel Ridge LLC for their Drexel Ridge multifamily development located at 7721 South Pennsylvania Avenue, various tax keys.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Moving on to License Committee, I'll hand it off to the Chair of the License Committee, Alderman Kirkowski.
License Committee did not meet prior to the meeting. Tentative recommendations are as follows. Item 14, Kirkowski makes a motion to grant an operator's license to the 6 individuals listed on the agenda. Favorable background reports were received.
Gale, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
15.
Kirkowski makes a motion to grant a regular Class B combination alcohol license to Christina S. Clausen, Agent Hush LLC, DBA Boots Saloon and Grill, 8950 South 27th Street, with issuance subject to the surrender of the current reserve Class B combination license, and to authorize the refund of the $10,000 one-time reserve license issuance fee.
Gale, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
No.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Item 16.
Kirkowski makes a motion to authorize the refund of the $10,000 one-time reserve Class B combination license issuance fee to Phil Landa, Alphagon Tacos and Beer LLC, DBA Alphagon Tacos and Tequila Bar, 8701 South Howell Avenue. Regular Class B license was granted 9/6/16.
Gale, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
All right, item 17. What's that? Item 17 is a consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.851C, to discuss the appointment of a city administrator. Alderman Gale.
Gale moves to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub C, to discuss the appointment of a city administrator.
Guzekowski, will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
At this point, we'll move into closed session. We'll turn the live stream off. When we come back into closed session, we'll turn it back. Roll call.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen. Aye. Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item 19 is a motion to concur with my appointment of a new city administrator. He is Andrew Vickers, who is in the audience. Why don't you come up and give us a quick introduction to yourself, and then we'll move the motion through. Actually, let's do the motion first, make sure it's official, then we'll do it. Just in case. Someone make a motion on number 19. That's a good idea.
Gale moved to concur with the mayor's appointment of Andrew Vickers as the new city administrator.
Guzekowski, will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Protocol is always important. Andrew, welcome.
Well, you all know my name and my background, but my name's Andrew Vickers, and I'm presently employed with the Village of Hobart in Brown County outside of Green Bay. And I am elated to be here and have this opportunity with the city of Oak Creek. And throughout the entire process, I have to say, you folks, your staff, made it an extremely comfortable decision to make. It's not always easy uprooting your family, and but this is where I've wanted to be in this area, and certainly just really happy for the opportunity. I know we'll do great things. There's plenty of inertia and momentum in this community, and I will maintain that and hopefully help the community grow that momentum moving forward here. So thank you all for your support. Excited to get started on October 24th, so can't come soon enough.
Yep, and we're
My
excited.
current employer would not say that, but
We know how that feels. Thanks, and we really look forward to working with you. So,
thank
welcome.
you very much. Thanks.
All right, let's see. Item 20 is a motion to consider ordinance number 2823, fixing the salary, benefits, and allowances for the new city administrator. Questions or comments before we make a motion? Motion.
Gale moved to approve ordinance number 2823, fixing the salary, benefits, and allowances for the new city administrator.
Guzekowski, will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Toman.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
We shall see you next Tuesday. Oh, what did I miss?
One more, Steve.
21.
Oh, 21. All right. 21 is a motion to approve the city administrator employment agreement. If no questions or comments, just a motion.
Gale moved to approve the city administrator employment agreement.
Guzekowski, will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Toman.
Aye.
All right,
Steve?
motion. Go ahead.
Just want to take the opportunity to thank Becky Shermer for her handling of the process here. First time I understand that she's actually hired a new boss for herself, so appreciate all her efforts in this, as we proceeded. And obviously our Lisa Borski, I think, did a fantastic job on our search, and we're happy to have you, Andrew.
Echo those comments. Motion to adjourn.
Kirkowski. No, I always do it. Somebody else want to do it?
So moved.
First make the motion, then second it.
Kirkowski will make a motion to adjourn.
Guzekowski, will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Verhaelen.
Aye.
Tolman. Gale.
Aye.
All right, now thank you for watching online or our live stream. Is it live? Beautiful. And we will see you next Tuesday at Plan Commission. Have a great night. Enjoy the great weather.